Well, hello, everyone. We are here today with Eric Redfield. He and his wife, Amy, are the owners of Camporosso Pizza in Fort Mitchell. Um, right now, we're still in the throes of the corona pandemic, I should say. And Eric, you've got a great business there in Fort Mitchell, and never would any of us imagined us going through these kind of times, but you're dealing with it as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, community member, and so just tell us about the kind of things you're dealing with. You're still up and running. You're doing carry out, but talk about the business side of things for a second. How are you doing? How are things going?
Yeah, absolutely. There's really no blueprint for what we're going through, as you mentioned, but thanks so much for having us on. And when this happened, we're a dine-in only restaurant, and we had to pivot very quickly to scale this to a takeout only model and to meet the COVID-19 takeout only policy. So we did that very, very quickly. We have a great staff that allowed us to do that. And we were operational as a takeout only within about 12 hours from the announcement being made. So we had a couple of goals in mind when we sat down. My wife and I looked at this, and we wanted to stay open first and foremost. Secondly, we wanted to retain as many employees as we possibly could. And third, we wanted to give back and serve the community.
Well, and you're doing both of those things. How many total staff do you have going into this?
We have 43. Just before this happened, we had 43 team members on the payroll.
That's great. Well, and you've now been in business there in Fort Mitchell on Dixie Highway for how long?
We didn't celebrate. We had our 3rd-year anniversary last week. So, yeah. So we'll celebrate that once we're through this pandemic.
So some of the things that have been, the community has been talking about the great things you're doing. You're trying to keeping people employed. You talk about your mission as a business. Talk about what Camporosso is, what's underlying, what makes you guys tick, and why you're trying to do what you're doing for the community.
Well, Amy and I opened Camporosso really as a platform to serve. We both had very long corporate careers, very high stress jobs, but wanted to do something where we could give back to the community. We raised our family. We have 3 kids. We raised them with 4 core values: faith, hard work, education, and service. And they've all taken that, and they are on their 20s now, and they're all pursuing that themselves. And we're still using that today. It is really that simple. So we opened this as that platform. We've been able to give back, and from a corporate level and down to an individual employee level, give back and help folks throughout the whole 3 years we've been here. So that has really been something that drives us every day. And I forgot to mention that on the backs of our shirts, we have Philippians 2:4, and we've had that since day one. That is, to each of you, look out for your own needs, but also look out for the needs of others. We use that as really our driving force.
That's fantastic as a base model. And you whatever got you, by the way, I want to come back to what's the foundation, but whatever got you in pizza. So Camporosso is great Italian food and things, but pizza, whatever got you to decide to do that?
Well, in my travels in the corporate world, I worked, I was vice president of North American Healthcare for a Fortune 5 company for a long time. My wife Amy was in management for several food companies, and we did want to do something that would give us the opportunity to work together and serve the community. We actually put our business hats on and wanted to find something where there was a market void in this area. And we felt like this was it. We wanted to create a place that we would like to go to and celebrate, mourn, just do all those things that a community does. And that's how this was born.
That's fantastic. So you're dealing with the challenges. There's a lot of ideas coming from the city and, of course, neighboring communities to come and utilize your obviously your wares, buy pizza, buy food as carry out. But you're also doing some stuff outbound. So you're actually supporting other people with food. Can you share with us a bit about that?
Sure. That started first with our employees. So during the first 2 weeks, we decided to retain as many people as possible. But we knew we wouldn't be able to do that. So we decided to take 100% of our profits and distribute those to our employees. We actually made those financial assistance last week, and we gave gifts and bonuses to all 43 of our employees last week. We're lucky. We're at a point now where we have 33 of those team members and employees that are back on the payroll and working right now. We have 10 that are not. 5 of those are doing other things, and we're calling the other 5 back. So we've been very, very blessed and fortunate to be able to keep a large part of our sales force up and working.
So if you think about it, and there are other small businesses that maybe you didn't have a prior career, this all they've been doing is either a restaurant or something like this has been dramatically affected by COVID-19. Any advice to them in terms of what they should do differently, or what they're doing in the community? Any advice to them in these times?
Well, we were lucky that our menu and our product mix set up very, very well for takeout, even though we're not a takeout restaurant. So I think you've got to craft your menu to items that are easily positioned for taking out, taking home, preparing at home. And I think that you've got to run lean and really maximize your staff. And like I mentioned, for us, it is serving and giving back. And there's always somebody that is in need, and everyone has something to give. We're all blessed with different gifts. It may be financial, it may be the gift of time. And I tell my staff here, even if you have the gift of a smile and a pleasant disposition, you can give that and give that freely. So, we really preach that. And like I mentioned, just do what you can do.
So maybe to wrap up, or almost wrap up on this comment. So everybody's wanting to get the economy going back up and running. What do you think about that? How do you feel about, you've got a tough restaurant situation where you've got your design to be service in the building. Are you thinking about how that might look to you guys? Hopefully sooner than later we get that up and running so you can be back in normal business.
We are. We're actually, we start, like I mentioned, it starts with my wife, Amy, and we sit down and we start to strategize and put kind of the next phase in place. We take it to what is our board, which is our 3 children right now, and then to our employees. So we're working on that right now. I do think that if you practice the social distancing and we do things safely, and we don't use aseptic techniques, that's reserved for hospitals, but we're pretty close to that here in our food preparation. And I think that if everybody could work towards that angle, that we could start getting back to business and getting people back to work. And we're encouraged by that, and we hope that that happens very soon.
That's so true. So any other words of wisdom for the community that you're such a huge part of right now as we go through this?
Well, one last thing. So now that we have our most of our employees back working, we have shifted our focus. We're going to continue to take care of those that we cannot employ and take care of them financially, but we have most of our employees back working. We have shifted our focus to a meal match plan. So we've been helping and serving for a long time, but we've had so many people in this community that have donated, paid it forward, bought meals for healthcare workers, and asked us how they could help, that we've decided to allow outside money to come in and donate to our meal match program, which basically doubles our reach. And it's going to allow us to reach so many healthcare workers and those in need. And we have already today, we've worked with the Emergency Shelter of Northern Kentucky, the Women's Crisis Center, Action Ministries, Isaiah House, St. Elizabeth. Tomorrow we're going to feed the Facilities Management Department of St. E. Edgewood almost 75 meals. And they're the unsung heroes of this thing. They're keeping that hospital clean and virus-free around the clock. So those are things that we want to continue to do. And if somebody wants to work with us in this meal match program, it's at camporosso.com. Donate a meal.
Well, that's the right way to end it. You guys continue to give. We all appreciate what you're doing. I know that's not why you do it for the thanks, but as a part of the community, we say thank you to you and your wife and your entire team for what you're doing.
Well, thank you for the opportunity.
You bet. Best of luck.
You as well.